Hi, it's Peg and Des on
Love and Hip Hop New York.
So a lot going on this week. There's Yandy called Amina messy Mina. I was like, everybody's messy. It's all mess on this show.
It is.
Before we dive in, I want to remind everyone, subscribe to our channel and leave us comments. We love to read your comments.
Absolutely, and make sure to watch the other videos on our channel. This week, I actually laughed out loud very hard I usually laugh at this show, but not like this week. When Tahiry was sitting with her sister, and the sister was telling Tahiry that the father was losing his home, and they decide to build him a church to help him make money as well as have some place to live. I was thinking, is this not the most cockamamie plan two people could ever come up with?
I thought it was brilliant because that's how all the best cults start. I have nowhere to go, nothing to be, I'm a loser, I'm going to build a church and they will come.
That is a mess. That is an absolute
mess. What about
mess.
the fact that Tahiry and her sister supposedly haven't spoken for years over, I guess, her relationship with Joe?
Tahiry would not open up at first about what the problem was. Did you notice how she said,
right,
I haven't spoken to my sister in 5 years? She said it in passing as if that's a normal thing for people not to speak to their family members for half a decade. And then when she finally did say something about it having to do with Joe, she still didn't share what the full story was, but the sister did. The sister said, every time you get a man, you disappear.
Right.
And we all know those women.
Yes. I mean, her sister was mad.
Livid.
But she did come back to Tahiry with this cockamamie story about the father, but then Tahiry finds out that it wasn't even that serious. So,
right, she said that he'd lost his home, right? Where he was facing eviction?
Right. And so then Tahiry was like, but I talk to him every week. I don't know about this.
Right.
And then we find out that it's not that serious. So I'm wondering, really, did the sister just get tired of not talking to Tahiry? Did she want in on the love and hip hop game? Like,
wouldn't she have come back last season, though? I mean, would she really have the patience to sit around for 2 seasons? Especially considering there's no real reason why Tahiry couldn't be kicked off the show at any given moment. It seems like you'd want to hop in there when you could.
But I couldn't figure it out. The reasoning to me didn't seem quite right. Something didn't seem right to me.
They have the same father, but not the same mother?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But they look alike and they talk exactly the same way.
They do. They absolutely do.
All right, let's move on to Messy Mina. I need to find something that goes with Peter.
Lil Guns.
No, I mean,
Lil Guns is what Erica Mena likes to call him.
I know, but I need like a moniker, or fine, we can call it Little Guns, which I think is hilarious, because clearly it upsets Peter like tremendously to be called Little Guns. And my girl Tara
said that she'd apparently had some cocktails and then went home and then decided to have sex with Peter. What was interesting about that is how much liquor is available in the New York City metro area.
The other thing that's interesting is she didn't really seem that drunk.
She really did.
She seemed really sober to me.
I could tell something was a little off about her behavior because she was a little playful, and Tara has a very tough, hard personality, seems like. But at least on the show, that's the way she presents herself. So she did seem like she'd had 1 or 2 cocktails.
Yes.
Certainly not enough to be losing your scruples and getting back into bed with your married baby daddy. I'm just like, if you want to do it, just do it.
Right.
Let's call a spade a spade.
That's exactly what I felt. I felt like she got tired of being mad at him.
Yes.
And here he is on the couch. She's been with this man for 13 years.
Right.
She just wanted to hook up again.
There you go.
And meanwhile, Mina is at her house buying rings.
I think it's interesting that Amina does not... Well, she seems like she has some concern over this, but it's like a passing concern about the fact that Peter doesn't spend the night with her. So now the cat's out of the bag. Now Tara knows what's going on. That is supposedly the last hurdle, but not really, because he still doesn't spend the night. And then she said, I don't like the fact that when I ask you questions, you don't like to answer the questions. And he's like, what is you, the FBI? You're supposed to be married now, Lil Guns.
You know what really disturbs me about all of it is the incredibly low standards that all of these women have for these men.
Right.
I'm like, how do you ever expect to be treated properly when you just keep lowering the standard of how you can be treated.
Well, Peter, if you notice in his behavior, is actually getting to a place of indignance.
Yes!
Because I think not last week, maybe the week prior, he seemed like he was a little sad and a little sorry for what he'd done. He's never seemed very sorry.
Right.
But as the women continue to operate in this triangle, he starts making demands and having issue with them.
Yeah.
For example, he told Amina, don't get mad that I'm not going to wear this ring in front of Tara because we can't get Tara upset. Really?
Right.
Don't get mad that I'm not coming home at night because sometimes I'm spending the night at my baby mother's house or at my own mother's house.
Right.
Really?
Right. Like, how dare you question me? How dare you expect anything from me? Don't you see that you're driving me away with your ridiculous behavior? Right. No, fool! No! No, I say. It really pisses me off. I'm like, this is why guys can get away with this kind of behavior.
Well, I think that if anything, it just demonstrates that, because I feel like for every Peter in the world, most men in the world are not like Peter. I don't believe that every man out there is that kind of trifling. But I do believe that when you see a Peter, you let a little of your own behavior slip. Right? Like, you may not get as bad as Peter, but you're like, if that fool can get away with that, then I could probably get away with like 1/10 of that.
That's what I'm thinking.
So I'm just gonna like push a little bit.
And that is what guys do. And Peter has just pushed these women to the point where now they are taking scraps of his time, scraps of his attention. They can't ask for anything. They can't expect anything. It breaks my heart. It really does.
Spoken like two single gals. All right, let's get on to Erica, Rich, and Peter.
Oh!
So, for some reason, I think Rich Dollas, besides the Let's Buy Dad a Church idea, Rich Dollas may have had the second worst idea on the show this week.
I think Rich Dollas is having a great time. I think he is playing all of them as puppets. I think that he's playing Yandy for a puppet. I think he's definitely playing Erica for a puppet, and he's playing Peter for puppets. He's just, because he always has like a little sneaky smile on his face when all this stuff is going down that he facilitated.
Like a smirk.
Yes.
He's like a constant smirk.
I think he is having a ball.
He had that same smirk when Tara slapped Amina. If you noticed, the camera panned to him, and he was actually laughing with his mouth closed.
Yes.
But for what reason did he think Peter would be a good candidate to anything with Erica? I mean, Erica, first of all, Erica hates the postman. So why he would put Peter in front of her, of all people, was crazy to me. But did you notice something? As Erica was talking reckless, and as she was saying to him, like, I'm talking over you. You can't out-talk me. I was like, you're doggone right, Erica. He can't. He really doesn't. He does not have the verbal tenacity to keep up with your foolishness.
She was like, everything may be fake, but this mouth is real.
Yes.
I was like, yes, it is.
And they kept coming. And then, like, the jabs just kept coming.
She was like, Mimi.
And Peter couldn't keep up. I mean, he just kept saying, he was like, why is this girl here? Why is this girl here?
Right.
But did you notice that Amina didn't have anything to say?
I did notice that.
Did you notice? Okay, so
I did notice that.
So Amina sat tight. Erica called her man a clown. Erica had all kinds of foolishness for him, and she was really coming for him. And Amina sat there with her list, looking to her left at Erica, and I said, "Wow, Amina, look at you."
Do you feel Tara would have had his back a little bit more than that?
I think Tara would have reached over and hit Erica in the head, and I think that the two of them would have had fisticuffs in the restaurant.
So there you go. He wants his ride or die. It's got to be Tara.
I do believe that Tara would not have allowed that kind of dialogue to go on at that table. Regardless of how ridiculous Peter is, I still don't think she would have allowed that to happen.
Erica laid into Peter like he was a little boy that stole something and she had to switch.
And then as he's walking out, she's like petting her hair. You can't handle my mouth. You can't handle my mouth. That was my favorite scene of the whole episode.
Well, you're right. He
can't do it. He can't do it. There are people in this world who have the gift of being able to get at you. And when you it's like any kind of fight, right? You're not supposed to get into a fight with someone you know who can beat your behind.
Right.
I mean, like a physical altercation.
Right.
Same the case with a verbal altercation.
I would be like Peter. I'd be sputtering and stuttering because I'm the kind of person that goes home and thinks of all kinds of things to say.
You're too late. You're a day late. You're $1 short. Your feelings are hurt. You're crying in your pillow. It's
Exactly.
over. It's over. Erica has laid into you. You've missed the moment, and now you're talking to your homegirl as if she cares. This is what I should have told her. This is what I should have said.
And another thing.
Nope, ain't no another thing. You should have been here in the moment. Like I said on one of these videos a long time ago, I want Nene Leakes to open a school. The Nene Leakes School of Verbal Jousting. And then I want Erica to be the assistant professor.
Absolutely. Take down class.
Exactly. I mean, like I can see the 101 level courses. How to get at somebody on the run. You know, just...
Right. How to have jabs in your mind before they even start the fight.
But see, what that is I've thought these things about you.
Right.
Right? Like my mind has already been working on you.
Right.
It's just a matter of you giving me space and opportunity to get at you.
Right.
And you've given that to me, and I'm ready to rumble.
Right.
So that's what that is. Let's talk about Yandy real quick, because I think Yandy tried to give Rich a little bit of laying into this week too. Where are my artists?
Yes. She was like, I'm about ready to make you the intern. You are getting nothing done. There's nothing on this label. People are asking me, when are you going to show me some artists? We've got nothing. And Rich just said it looking like a fool.
He didn't have anything to say. He's like, I've got models.
He was like, you know how hard it is out here to find an artist? Please, I walked down 42nd Street and I'm accosted by 10 fools trying to hand me a CD. Please, Rich, this is New York City. There's no shortage of artists to be uncovered here.
Let me tell you something. I want to work for Yandy's label, because if I run into one more man who's telling me that he's trying to be a rapper, I mean, why can't I get my A&R on? I seem to attract those types.
That's what I'm saying.
Come on.
Please, Rich, come on.
I don't believe it. I'm with Yandy. You're playing games and you're not serious about this.
Now, what about Yandy bonding with the female rapper who also has a partner who's in prison for serious crimes?
When I was listening to her rap, there's two things about this scene. First of all, freestyle rap is one of those things where you need to be able to rap if you rap freestyle. Like, don't come in my office rapping without a track if you sound like that. Because granted, there are a lot of rappers on the radio who are terrible, but it is the music, it is the track, it's all the extra that they put behind it that actually makes it good to hear. Like 2 Chainz cannot freestyle for you. That's just not gonna happen.
Right.
But other artists can. So that was my first problem with Old Girl. But my second problem is how Yandy decided to bond with her over the fact that they both put commissary on the books. It's like, really, Yandy? I mean, Yandy's ears really perked up. She was like, oh yeah? How long? When's he gonna get a bail hearing? How long?
Because girl, she is dying over this. She doesn't know anything. I don't think we talked about this, but that scene with the lawyer, when she went to go see Mendici's lawyer was like, look, I can't tell you anything. Mendici knows all. Please speak to him. Don't come to me.
Mendici's calls you collect every single day. Why is it that Mendici's is not asking his lawyer questions?
He is. The lawyer was trying to tell Yandy Mendici knows exactly what's up.
But he's not telling you.
Exactly.
So, and then watching you run around acting like there are no answers to be found.
And so Yandy wanted to connect with this woman because she needs some sort of confidant with this situation.
How about Mendici actually give her the information that she needs? But I think Mendici's is scared to tell her I'm about to do 20 to 30.
I think so. I think he's scared to tell her that because the female artist was like, he's in jail for some serious crimes. I'm like, so is Mendici's.
Yeah.
So is he. So, all right. Next week, I didn't see the preview. What happens next week? I don't know.
I actually don't remember here's the thing. Even if we don't see the preview, we can assume there'll be a love triangle. Tahiry is going to help Big Red with the wedding.
All right.
Yandy looking for artists. There goes the preview. I did it.
All right, great. So remember, everyone, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And leave us comments.
Absolutely. And make sure to like this video and check out the other videos on our channel.
Bye.
Goodbye.